Alright, section 7, air systems. Description: Equipment air system. See figure 7.3. Air entered the front end of the locomotive through the screen inlet with the incoming air passes through the equipment and blow over the end, then down to the platform. Part of the air moved to the front of the locomotive, passing through an air cleaner. The bleed air is discharged out of the bottom of the locomotive. Clean air is supplied with a control compartment, cab heater from the track and front traction motor. They also move the platform toward the rear of the locomotive, cleared and cleaned by another air cleaner. Clean air ventilates the back traction motor, extended the range of the dynamic braking compartment. If you use the platform directly below the generator, another air cleaner supply of clean air with the generator, auxiliary generator exciter into the engine cab of the pressurization equipment of the air cleaner is made up of 14 panels, as shown in figure 7.1. Each panel having 54-inch individual, 54 individual tubes. Engine, each tube acts as a miniature siliconic dirt separator. Incoming air enters the veins of the tubes, causing the air to swirl. The dirt particles begin heavy to go outside, but they eventually leave the far end of the outer tube. The clean air swirling in the central portion and discharged out of the cleaner. The bleed air carries the dirt out of the cleaner. The small opening at the bottom of each of the panels permits the separated dirt and bleed air to escape. See figure 7.1. Continuous discharge from the locomotive from the outlets beneath the inner frame. Test results of all the vertical particles 8 microns larger removed by this cleaner. Micron is 1/millionth of a meter, of approximately 1/25,000th of an inch. Clean air passes through the cleaner into the main air duct of the locomotive, which is being formed, enclosing the place of the center sill, top and bottom metal plates welded airtight. Alright, this shows your 54 cleaning tubes, air cleaner dirt discharge. In figure 7.2, your equipment engine air cleaner tube, clean air, dirt discharge, incoming air. Alright, maintenance. Present experience indicates that the periodic cleaning with the air cleaner is not needed. The normal scoring of the depth and rain and snow will be provided with the cleaning if necessary. If due to the extremely unusual operation conditions, it is felt that the cleaning is desirable, remove the cleaner and clean it using a non-caustic cleaner recommended with aluminum. See data portion of these instructions are approved with the cleaner and follow these use of the cleaner with light spray of clean water to access the holes provided with the underneath the locomotive platform with the cleaners may be removed with the main air duct is inspected. The cover of these air access holes will be tight to prevent leakage of venting air. The felt seals and flexible ducts are points where the air from the main duct get various equipment should be kept tight. Furthermore, maintenance these seals over the ducts will result in the dirt moisture gaining entry to various devices that can result in enough leakage to cause the overheating. This shows your locomotive air system to the operator's cab heater, the traction motor, incoming air, auxiliary generator, armature. For main generator, coupler, main generator, exhaust, gas aspirator, gamper, engine air pendulum, supply feed and front platform, incoming air, rear, traction motor, air oil, boil bath filter, air cleaner tube, main air duct, 2 diesel engine, air cleaner, equipment and blower to control air equipment. Alright, your engine air system. Air ends with the rear part of the locomotive through a screen inlet with the most of the air is used for the cool of the radiator as part of the air goes into the engine air cleaning system of the engine, where the air cleaner consists of the 6 engine air cleaner assemblies designed for the engine air pendulum. Each of these assemblies consists of the air cleaner fastened into the oil bath filler, with the air cleaner bled with the exhaust gas aspirator. Supplemental bleed air is obtained with the platform air duct with the bleed air damper shown in figure 7.3 is provided with to prevent reverse bleed airflows during reversal operation conditions. The diesel engine with the running at low speed, all of the air into the oil bath of the assembly was deflected downward through the oil due to the high velocity of the air passing through the surface of the oil pump. Drops of the oil picked up and carried up through the wet screen filter panel. Oil drained back down into the reserve at the bottom of the carries away with the dirt particles trapped in the filter screen. Quantity of the dirt is comparatively small due to the cleaning action with the air cleaner. As the engine speed increased with the spring load of the baffle, the front of the oil bath filter, shown in figure 7.5, with the deflect of the pressure of the air stream permits most of the air to go down directly to the filter. However, the portion of the air is deflected downward and across the oil oil pool to maintain the self-containing cleaning action of the filter. Maintenance. The entire air duct system between the air cleaners and the turbocharger engines must be kept airtight. Inspect the front cracks and leaks Maintenance period, any leakage of the duct, the admits dust and miniature of the engine room vapors. So figure 7.5 shows your oil bath insulation. Caution: rubber seals immediately behind the oil bath filter assembly must be kept in good condition. Failure to do this was resolved by bypassing the filter, permitting unclean air to enter the engine directly, with the result of the high rates of wear in the engine. Renewing these rubber seals is necessary. Engine air cleaner assembly. Oil leveling the oil bath sump should be clean. Check periodically. List of the lubrication schedule, servicing schedule. Check with the oil level of the engine has shut down for 10 minutes or longer. The oil level is satisfactory as it is above the add oil mark. Do not add oil level below. Add below the add oil mark. Inspect the engine. If oil level is below the add oil mark, inspect the engine system. Find out why the oil is low. Correct the inspect and refill the oil bath air filters per maintenance instruction. See Figure 7.5. Over the long period of oil level may increase with the accumulation of dirt bottom of the filter tank. With the necessary, remove the filter and clean them with a maintenance instruction. To remove the disassemble the engine air cleaner, use the following procedure: remove the two clips and pull the assembly forward. Slide out the locomotive. Detach the air cleaner with the oil bath cover. Remove the 4 Z bars. Detach the oil bath cleaner. Close the loose and rotating 2 bolts as clips. Turn on the 2 spring clips. Inspect the air of the plenum for air leaks, cracks, and etc. Remain as necessary. Inspect the engine air plenum bleed air duct gasket. Replace as necessary. Inspect the air cleaner for the dirt and clean if necessary. But non-cosmetic cleaner recommended for aluminum. See data section of these instructions for the approved cleaners for the following use of cleaner of light spray clear water. This shows your cross-section view of the oil bath filter. You have your add oil through the inlet grill, air filter, primary air cleaner, filtered engine. Or inspect the cover cleaning. Use only hot running water with the cleaning the cover of the desired blow with the compressor air. Wipe with a cleaning rag. Simply allow the water to drain. And after cleaning this has been completed with the bath, filter should be inspected. Proper operation. Inspect the gaskets. Replace them as necessary. Inspect the oil bath filter. Some of the media with the using a strong light. With the media should be clean. The dirt free of the entire area at all times. Should be well wetted with oil. Important of the filter media with clean because of the appreciable dirt that accumulates on the media. The airflow restricted to the high air velocity that is remaining open in media. Under these conditions, the ability to immediately to separate from the oil, the air may be penalized. The oil may be carried out through into the engine. Inspect the bleed air ducting and aspirator. If the bleed air ducting and aspirator intact with the action of the and the media should sign with plugging in the dirt. Some of the 1/2 inch of the time being maintenance of the cleaning should be reduced accordingly. Caution: not use the strong cosmetic cleaners such as cleaning having the deteriorated effects of the filter media with a plastic, side gauge, and aluminum air cleaner. Scrape the hard pack dirt and cake of the sump from the sump using the scraper. The first pouring of the oil with the cleaning of the sump through the recommended cleaners. The entire panel sump assembly should be flushed vigorously in a vessel containing cleaner with a dipping of the draining and alternately flushing any of the doors where they embedded the filtered media. After the filter is drained, hold the panel up with a strong light. It is 200-watt light bulb. Check with the embedded dirt for the very important light. It should be dimly visible with the entire face of the media. Any dark areas with the light does not penetrate indicates the embedded dirt, which must be removed. Additional flushing before the filter is reapplied to the locomotive. Normally, the action of the oil on the panel will keep the media free of the dirt accumulation. Fill the sump with the full mark of the oil. Reassemble the cover and air cleaner for the oil bath filter. Install the assembly of the locomotive fouls. Push the air filter assembly within 6 inches of the normal position shown Figure 7.4. The last 6 inches of the method should be made with the filter at the slight inward angle. The hard quick push of the air of the filter assembly should engage the spring properly. Apply with the 2 clips and tighten with the sunk fit. After assembling, inspecting air cleaner and engine air plenum, seal the air cleaner to the bleed duct seal. During the winter operation, the air temperature below 32 degrees Fahrenheit, thoroughly saturate the filter media with recommended oil before filling the sump with oil. Damper. The bleeding air damper shown in Figure 7.3 provide with a vent reverse air cleaner bleed airflow. But this damper should be inspected freedom of the movement, binding intact of this opening closed stop of the wear whenever the aspirator and turbo are removed from the maintenance. Supplemental bleed. The supplemental bleed shown in Figure 7.3. This pipe is and its connections must be intact. Aspirator flexible Piping, aspirated flexible piping should be inspected for the cracks. Leak failure of these parts will result in the premature dirt of the oil bath and the air filters. Your air pipe elbows, connecting the elbows between the turbocharger for the intercoolers, construct with adjusting flange of the intercoolers, permit slightly variable alignment between flange connections. Some link of the elbows, hex nuts instead of the interconnectors should be loose. Loosen several terms to allow the adjustment made with the source of sure the seal oil rings are in space. Install the tighten bolts of the bolts in all the flanges of the necks and nuts on each of the side of the adjusting flange may drawn up evenly with the taking care of the not to distort the flexible air elbow in the process of these components, figure 7-6. Alright, intercoolers. And the engine is equipped with the two intercoolers which are affect the temperature or supply with the cylinder in each engine and intercooler. The steel fabricated case enclosing the tube and the fin type radiator core is welded to. Figure 7-6 shows the assembling of the adjuster elbow. Welded to tube sheet of the water headers at the top of the bottom with the removal of the air heated with the compression from the discharge of the turbocharger prop passes horizontally through the core. Heat is removed with the carried away from the engine into cooling water which flows through the tubes and core from the three passes up and down and up again. In idle and light loads in the cold weather, air must be warmed by heat flow from the water. Radiator cores permanently mounted in this intercooler, while the top of the bottom headers may be removed to permit cleaning and the repair of the tubes. No intercooler parts, such as the case for the core with the end heater headers, are not interchangeable. These parts are individually machined and fitted together. Should be intercooled, requires extensive repair, and should be returned to the factory for reconditioning and proper fitting of new parts. Each intercooler should be inspected periodically with the dirt buildup of the air passage of the core with the pore filter maintenance. The dirt may be permitted to accumulate with the intercoolers. It will restrict airflow of the engine, resulting in high cylinder pressure, temperature, smoky exhaust, and low horsepower. Inspect the intercoolers. Remove the elbow between the turbocharger intercoolers to preserve the condition of the core fins through the inlet opening. Lighted containing coating oil dust is normal. For method of cleaning of the cooler is removing the header completely, immersing the case of the core with an aggregated tank containing approximately cleaning solution. Appropriate cleaning solution followed by the thorough rinse with clean water. See data recommended with cleaning compounds. No intercoolers are constructed with the core fins made of aluminum. They do not subject cores to cleaning and are discaling agents which are harmful to aluminum. Alright, before the top of the bottom headers are applied with the cooler should be applied with the air tested leak of the tubes of the construction air applied with the gasketed blanking plates over the air openings. One plate adapted to the air hose connection. The cooler case with completely immersed in clean water. Apply regulated air pressure at 30 psi maximum to the cooler. Inspect the case for the tubes of the leaks as indicated with the air bubbles. Later repair the mark of the location of the leaks using wax crayon. Leak of the tubes eliminated and by plunging both of the ends of the such tubes soldering plugs made of the phenomenal resin. Renew the intercooler. More than 10% of the tubes requiring blocking should leak develop in the intercooler. It may be repaired by welding mild steel welding rod. Your intake manifold. Air intake manifolds must be kept tight and avoid the air leaks. Figure 7-7. The assembling of the section with the manifold, such for the after cylinder changing out, care should be taken with the sealing. O-rings are placed so that beads are in connection to are proper centered and evidence for the beads being visible at each side, shown in Figure 7-8. Exhaust manifold installation has a complete package. Caution: the manifold must be installed so that when it's assembled, the system statically unloaded. Improper assembly will statically load the manifold and can reduce service life. With addition, bellow can be easily damaged if they are prior to or if clamping rings other parts of the dropped on them. Figure 7 show the section air manifold installed cylinder. Figure 7-8 show the air intake manifold. Figure 7-9 shows the lifting arrangement. The shipping bars attached on the outside of the elbow flange having the dowels which are located with the flange hole mating with the full correct spacing. These bars should only be removed at the last possible moment before installation ready with the manifold mounting plate with a detaching strap of the 4x4 located on the top of the center of the manifold plate for the engine and the V. Manifold must be lifted carefully, with the care must be taken into the space for the sidings to not let the manifold sag. refer to figure 7-9. Install the tighten loose bolt from the following sequence. Align the mounting plate with the install of the bolt, install the rear bolt, and then close your plate, then install the forward bolts. Then use a heavy lock washer under all the bolts, torque bolts, seated to that section. Mount the manifold to the turbocharger C figure 710 using the bolts with a high temperature thread compound, the heavy lock washer, torque bolts, seated data section. And it shows the 710 exhaust manifold turbocharger, mounting equipment turbocharger inlet casing, exhaust manifold, inlet screen, cylinder exhaust, clamping rings, exhaust water discharge header. 3. Loosen the elbow clamp of the ring bolts. Caution, not allow the elbow clamp ring bolts to drop on the bellows, as this will dent the bellows. Alright, align the manifold elbow cylinder exhaust ports. Mount the cylinder on using the gasket bolt with a high temperature thread compound light lock washer. Alright, torque the bolt. See the data section. Do not use the pry bar on the bellows, obtaining alignment. If the visual check with alignment of the main pipe section to the elbows, alignment that can be improved with the necessary for the be loosened with the main clap rings and slightly rotating the main pipe section. Seal the rings can be shifted slightly to obtain good alignment. Do not use the hammer to rotate with the pipes the main pipe section. Torque the main pipe clamping ring bolts data section of the clamp rings should be kept up to 1/16 of an inch. Avoid bending the bolts. Torquing the elbow clamp ring bolts, see data section clamp ring bolts should equally with 1/16 of an inch to avoid bending the bolts of the clamp ring gap that closes the new seal ring should be installed. Retorque all clamp ring bolts after load boxes after the first month of operation. Alright, section replacement. To replace the manifold main pipe section, proceed as follows. Note, any main pipe should be replaced without removing the water header. Carefully clean the elbow joint parts. Inspect for nicks, which was not sealed. The seal rings are reusable. Retorque the clamp and the ring bolts 1 month after the section replacement. Unbolt the elbow clamp rings of the elbow attached to the section. Remove it on the left and on the right elbow just ahead of the section. 2. Remove the cylinder mounting bolts of the 2 elbows attached to the section. Remove the afterload. Also remove the elbow mounting bolts for the cylinder just ahead of the section. Remove the elbows. Remove the clamp ring for the both ends of the section. Remove carefully lift off the section. Rotating the clear water discharge header. Install the new section in reverse order, being carefully aligned with the section mounted with the elbows before torquing the clamp rings. Replace the turbocharger inlet section with the turbo inlet casing with the current short nose design. Proceed as follows. The short nose design can be observed. Cylinder 1 and 1, the first right and left bank. Look at the manifold towards turbocharger short nose inlet casing with a central vertical vane. Move the top 6 socket head bolts holding the turbo inlet casing with the turbo housing to permit sliding in the transition section straight up. Unbolt the elbow clamp rings of the elbow for the cylinder 1L, 1R. Remove the elbows. Move the clamp ring with the front and forward end of the first main pipe section. Move the bolt mountings in the manifold turbocharger inlet section to the turbocharger. Lift the section up outward on the left side of the engine. Reverse these procedures and install a new section. To replace the manifold turbocharger inlet section with the inlet in the casing with the Erie long nose design valve, the procedure be above as noted. Item B1, remove the elbow cylinder with the second and left and right bank. I also remove the clamp ring with the rear of the first main section. As follows: lift of the first main section C, same as section 4, same as section B, same 5, same as section B, 6 is same as section B. Note, be careful to obtain correct alignment with the main pipe section, installing the elbows, rotating the main section. Alright, then the data, the oil bath filter cleaning compounds, non-caustic type, recommended for the galvanized steel, plastic, and paint. Alkaline products, and the air cleaner compounds, non-caustic, recommended for aluminum. Alright, intercooler cleaning compounds, non-caustic type, recommendation, aluminum, galvanized steel, and exhaust manifold, torque values. High temperature thread compound, exhaust stack clamps, 3/8 inch bolt, 8 to 10 pounds of torque, 5/8 inch bolt, 15 to 18 pounds of torque. Exhaust manifold mounting bolts, 50 to 55 pounds of torque. Main pipe clamping bolt, 70 to 75 pounds. Elbow, 70 to 75 pounds of foot. Torque main elbow bolts, the cylinder exhaust port, 105 to 115 pounds of foot torque. Exhaust manifold turbo inlet clamp, 70 to 75 pounds of foot torque. In section 8, overspeed system testing.